Hello guys, what is up? In this tutorial, we are going to create a BMI calculator using Python. BMI or body mass index is a value derived from the mass and height of a person. It is a simple calculation used to assess whether a person has a healthy body weight for a given height. The formula for calculating BMI is weight in kilogram divided by height in meters squared. BMI is a useful tool for identifying if a person is underweight, normal weight, overweight on their BMI value. So let's see how we can create a BMI calculator using Python. We'll start with a welcome message to greet our users. After that, we'll use a while loop to continuously prompt the user for input until they decided to stop. Let's start coding our BMI calculator. First, we need to print a welcome message for the user. For this, we use the print function, which displays text on the screen. Here I am typing print welcome to the BMI calculator. Next, we initiate an infinite while loop using while true. This loop will keep running until we explicitly break out of it. This allows the user to calculate BMI multiple times if they want. Within the loop, we need to validate the user's weight input. We start by setting a flag weight valid to false. The flag will help us to ensure that the input is valid before proceeding. Here I am typing weight valid equals to false. Now we use another while loop to repeatedly ask for the user's weight until they provide a valid input. Here I am typing while not weight valid. This loop will continue as long as weight valid is false. So this means that if anyone enters an invalid input, this loop will keep repeating and asking the user to input a valid input. Inside this loop, we prompt the user to enter their weight in kilogram. For this, we use the input function. Here I am typing weight input equals to input, enter your weight, kilogram. The input function displays a prompt and wait for the user to type something and press enter. We need to ensure the input is a positive number. We check if the input contains only digit or a decimal point using weight input dot replace dot space 1 dot is digit. This ensures the user can enter both integers and decimal numbers. If the input is valid, we convert it to a floating point numbers using weight equals to float and then calling a weight input variable. We then check if the weight is greater than 0 using if weight greater than 0. If it is, we set weight valid to true, which will exit this loop. If the weight is not positive, we display an error. We display an error message using print invalid input. Please enter a valid number for weight. This message guides the user to provide the correct input format. We follow a similar process for validating the user's height input. We set a flag height valid to false and use a while loop to repeatedly ask for the user's height until they provide a valid input. Here I am typing height valid equals to false and while not height valid. We prompt the user to enter the height in meter using height input equals to input, enter your height, meter. We check if the input contains only digit or decimal points using height input dot replace dot space and 1 dot is digit. If the input is valid, we convert it to a floating point number using height equals to float height input. We then check if the height is greater than 0 using if height greater than 0. If it is, we set height valid to true, which will exit this loop. If the height is not positive, we display an error message by using print invalid input. Please enter a valid number for height. Once we have both valid weight and height input, we calculate the BMI using the formula BMI equals to weight divided by height square. The double asterisk is the exponential operator in Python which raises the height to power of 2. We then determine the BMI category based on the calculated BMI. We use a series of if, elif and else statement to categorize the BMI. If the BMI is less than 18.5, we categorize it as underweight and provide health tips accordingly. Here I am typing if BMI less than 18.5. So this is for BMI which is less than 18.5, which is basically underweight. So here I am writing BMI category equals to underweight, and then here I am writing tip. So the tip is consider increasing your calories intake with nutrient dense foods and consult a nutritionist. If the BMI is between 18.5 and 24.9, we categorize it as normal weight and provide health tips to maintain a balanced diet and regular exercises. Here I am typing elif 18.5 less than equal to BMI less than 24.9. So overall this means that if BMI is between 18.5 and 24.9, so here I am writing BMI category as normal weight, and then I am writing tip. So the tip is maintain balanced diet and regular exercise to keep a healthy weight. If the BMI is between 25 and 29.9, we categorize it as overweight and suggest more physical activities and healthy eating habits. So here I am typing elif 25 less than equal to BMI less than 29.9. So this means that if BMI is between 25 and 29.9, so here I am writing BMI category as overweight, and then I am writing tip. So in tip I am writing you need more physical activities and healthy eating habit into your routine. Consult healthcare provider for personalized advice. And then I am writing if BMI is 30. And then if BMI is 30 or above, we categorize it as obesity and recommend seeking professional advice for a comprehensive weight management plan. So here I am typing else BMI category equals to obesity, and then I am typing tip. So the tip is seek professional advice to develop comprehensive weight management plan including diet, exercise and behavioral changes. So overall in this code we have classified the BMI based on the result. If BMI is less than 18.5, we have categorized it as underweight. Obviously, we will not get any type of input which is less than 0 or 0 because we haven't allowed user to input something which is 0 or less than 0. And then within a elif, we have written 18.5 less than equal to BMI and then less than 24.9. So overall, it means that if BMI is between 18.5 and 24.9, we have considered it as a normal weight, and then we have written some tips for it. And then we have created another elif statement, and within it we have just written elif 25 less than equal to BMI less than 29.9. So overall it means that if someone have a BMI between 25 to 29.9, then we have considered it as overweight and we have mentioned some tips for them. And then we use the else statement because at the end if someone have a BMI greater than 30, for this we just use an else statement, because if the output is something less than 30, then we have other categories for it to categorize the BMI. But if the BMI is more than 30 or 30, we just have used the else statement, and within it we have considered a BMI category as obesity, and then we have written some tips for it. After categorizing the BMI, we display the results to the user. We use the print function to display the BMI value, category and health tip. Here I am typing print. Your BMI is BMI. So here 2F format specifies in the FA string ensures that BMI value is displayed with 2 decimal places, and then I am writing print category BMI category, and then I am writing print health tips and then calling the tips variable. Finally, we ask the user if they want to calculate another BMI. We use the input function to get the user's choice and strip any extra white space and convert it to lowercase. Here I am typing continue choice equals to input. Do you want to calculate another BMI? Yes, no. Dot strip dot lower. So the dot strip and the dot lower function will convert overall result or overall input into the lower case. If the user types yes, the loop will continue. If they type anything else, we thank them for using the BMI calculator and break out of the loop, ending the program. Here I am typing if continue choice not equals to yes, print thank you for using the advanced BMI calculator. Goodbye. And then we are using the break statement. So the break statement will break out of the loop, which will end the program. This program not only calculates the BMI but also provide valuable health tips based on the user's BMI category. It is a great way to learn about loops, input validation and conditional statements in Python. So it covers everything that we have covered till now in our Python course. So let's run this code, and here you can see it is asking for the weight. So let's say here I am inputting some text, and here you can see it shows that my input is invalid. Now let's enter the weight again, and I am inputting 72. Then it is asking for height, and I am inputting 1.72. Here you can see my BMI is 24.34 and it is a normal, and it also provides me some health tip. Now it is asking me that whether I want to run this code again. So for now I am writing no. So here it is stopped. So this is how we can create a BMI calculator using Python. So hopefully you have enjoyed this tutorial, or you have enjoyed making this amazing BMI calculator. So that's all for today's video. If you found this video helpful, then do subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so that you keep receiving programming videos. So this project was a part of our playlist Python programming tutorial. So do check out Python programming playlist where you can watch all the videos in this series. So do check it out. The link is in the description.